Welcome, everybody, to Casting for Two, the podcast with your host, that one random guy named Chris, and I'm back. I'm always back, every week. I just want to say I've been very fortunate enough to be releasing multiple episodes a week, which I remember when the podcast first started, my mom asked me, how many, are you how many episodes are you going to release? Because with the old podcast I used to do, we used to release 3 episodes a week. And I always just said, not just one, because I didn't feel like I would be able to get so many great guests. And luckily I have been, and I've been flooded with episodes that I love for everyone to hear them. So I'm very grateful and very happy that I have this wonderful problem on my hands. And once again, thank everybody for listening. But it's time to get into this episode, okay? This is episode number 91. And I talked to Mr. Ed Stengel. He's from the band Pawns or Kings. And I had a great time chatting with him. He is actually in Indonesia right now because he's a teacher. And which I should have expected. I mean, but it just caught me off guard a little bit. But I had a great time chatting with him, and as well talking about their music. They're like Irish folky, and I love it. I absolutely love the music. Of course, if you're on my webpage, you can click and get all their music, because you got to get it all. But let's get into this episode. All right, sit back, relax, and Chris, cue the music, please.
Hey Chris, how's it going?
It's going well, and yourself?
I'm doing pretty good.
Right on. How's your morning going? Did you just wake up, or?
Actually, I am in the nation of Indonesia, and it is 11 o'clock at night.
So you've been up for a little bit, I'm assuming?
Yeah.
What are you doing over there?
I'm actually working a teaching job. So basically, the band and I kind of go on hiatus for a couple months every year, where we all work our day jobs, and then we all reconvene, which is about to happen in 5 weeks.
Okay. Now, why do you get to pick where you go, or is it just always Indonesia?
I actually work at a school in Indonesia. I have a bachelor's degree in teaching.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm currently working in Jakarta, Indonesia.
Okay, cool. And I'm just fascinated with this. The traveling and all that. Now, when you come back to stateside, is it hard to get used to the jet lag?
I mean, I've been living here for almost 2 years, but I visit the U.S. quite regularly.
Mm-hmm.
So I've been getting used to it. I've been all over the world, and you just kind of learn what your tics are, and you do your best to adjust as quick as you can.
Yeah. Well, no, that's great. What sort of subjects are you teaching over there?
Right now, I'm teaching a 6th grade class. It's at an international school, so it teaches in all English.
Okay.
And I'm essentially catering to the very rich of the country, but I teach math, English, science, and humanities. it's kind of funny because the students maybe about a month ago discovered that I'm a musician online, and they made a very big deal about it.
It's like you had this whole second life that they don't know about.
It's true. They found, all these articles about my band, and they found our YouTube videos, and suddenly it's like there's a whole nother dimension, and all these students from other grades kept coming up and asking me for my autograph. It was, I was able to convince some of the younger ones that it actually isn't me, that it's a band singer that I always get mixed up with from the United States, and some of them actually believe me.
There we go. No, that's really great. Now, I remember we were shooting a short film, and it was in I was in film school, but there were a lot of these Asian tourists, and they see a film crew, so naturally they go to all the actors and are just asking for their autograph. We're all just students, and so we're just, yeah, sure, why not? We'll sign away. Have you played at all for your students?
Some of the older ones, it was a big deal to them. They were having a concert, kind of like almost an open mic night for the older high school students, the 16 through 18-year-olds. And a lot of them had been listening to my band for a while. And so they asked me if I would do like a cameo, come up. And so I was playing with another student, and then everybody asked for me to play some of the band's original stuff. And so I went on stage and did that. But none of my students in the middle school have seen me play.
Oh, okay. And how did you get started in music?
Well, I've been involved in music this is your super cliche answer. I've been involved in music my whole life. I started taking piano lessons maybe when I was in second grade, and I started taking vocal lessons when I was in 8th grade. And I never once thought that I was going to be singing in a band. When I was in 6th grade, I was pretty convinced I was going to be a rapper.
Yeah. Okay.
As you do.
Yeah. I was almost going to be a rapper too, so I hear you.
Yeah. And then I moved to Peru for a year as an exchange student when I was 16, and I was singing very loudly to myself in a bathroom, not realizing anybody was there, and this guy just kicks through this stall door, and he says, "Are you in a band?" And I was like, I was just pretty freaked out. But I was like, no, not really. And then so he hands me his card, and he's like, "All right, these 3 songs you're going to memorize." And so he gives me 3 rock songs to memorize. And he says, "Okay, meet me here next week." Now, since I just moved to Peru, I figured, okay, I want to try this without any other ideas behind it. I thought, okay, I'll go. It'll be weird, and I'll get back to my normal life.
Yeah.
But so I go to this music studio. I start playing with this band of people I'd never met before, and they really liked me, so they put me on, and then I ended up playing for close to 10,000 people for the Peruvian Expo Rock Tour as an opening band when I was 17, and that's what kind of started me out in this idea that I really liked playing live music. Now, I obviously switched from the hard rock scene, but that's kind of how it all started.
And do your parents play any instruments?
My mother plays the guitar, and when I was really little, she would, maybe first grade, she would be asked by the teacher to come in and sing songs with us. But my father is pretty much musically illiterate, but he's very, very supportive of my music. In fact, I don't think there's another person in the world that listens to my band as much as he does. But yeah, my parents were very adamant about making me take music lessons when I was young. I took music theory lessons from a very young age, which I'm very thankful for now, but I hated then.
Yeah. No, I know that feeling. I have a nephew he's 3 now, and I'm just waiting until that age where he can comprehend making music and doing scales and stuff like that. So I'm excited for that, but I'm a huge supporter of learning music when you're young. Even though, yes, it might, I remember I played a tuba when I was younger, and it was something because I didn't want to play tuba. I wanted to play drums. Drums. That was my thing.
As everyone else wanted to do, especially in
Exactly.
middle school band.
Exactly. And so I remember my when I was first starting, the teachers told me I didn't look like a drummer, and they put a tuba on me. And I just I didn't hate it, but I just really disliked it, and I wanted to be a drummer. So later on in high school, I learned that I can switch. I thought I was going to be a tuba player forever. So I switched over to drums, but now that I'm older, I feel like, man, I wish I could just have a random tuba and see if I can still play.
Yeah, rather expensive just to get.
Yeah, right. I wasn't very good at the tuba. I could, tuba's all B flat, so I had that locked down. But
Yeah,
I just wonder if I can still play.
yeah. I played the trumpet for 7 years.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, and it's all in B flat as well. But if you gave me a trumpet right now, I mean, I remember how to play it.
Yeah.
I don't think my lips would produce a very pleasant sound.
Right. Yeah, no, I think because I also did marching band as well, and my lung capacity back then was just so much higher because you needed to be, and now I don't think I can hold notes out as like I used to. So I don't know. One day when my kids are in band, I'll see if I can sneak onto the school. I don't think they'll have a problem with that.
Yeah, I have to credit marching band pretty much with all of my music career. Not only did it give me the lung capacity that made me able to, because people were still super into kind of pop metal of in Peru, and so that's the type of music that I was kind of forced into singing, and that takes a lot of operatics, and I owe a lot to the trumpet, and also every member of my band now I met in marching band in high school.
There we go.
Strangely enough.
That's where you met Ben and Justin?
Yep.
Okay.
Ben was in the trumpet section with me. He actually sat right next to me. I met him in 8th grade, and I hated him, and I think he hated me too. And then Justin was a trombone player who sat right in front of us, and he was dating my ex-girlfriend, so I hated him too.
Oh, jeez.
But somehow, as high school went on, I think Ben and I became friends because I told him that I liked this PlayStation 2 game, and he told me he liked it too, and somehow we became friends through that.
There you go. There you go.
He told me he was learning to play the guitar, and I thought, well, that's cute. You know, everybody tries to learn to play the guitar. And so he was like, yeah. I came back from Peru, and he's like, yeah, man, like you and I should do some music together. And I was like, all right, yeah, whatever. I'll humor you since I was feeling like such a rock star at the time. And he starts playing this finger picking that piece that he made himself, and it was amazing. And I was like, how have you been hiding this musical skill from me? Like, did you take lessons when I was gone? He's like, no, I just found my dad's old guitar and just started playing. And he's a lefty, but he plays right-handed style.
Uh-huh.
So he can play riffs that are very complicated because he can use his stronger hand in order to make chords. And so he's got a very unique style. And so it's interesting if I would go back and talk to myself from 8th grade and be like, yeah, he's going to be one of your best friends, and he's going to be pretty much the musical genius behind the music that you make later on.
There you go. And the rest is history.
Yeah, Devin is the bass player, also was a trombone player that Justin was a section leader over.
So he probably hated him too.
Maybe at some point, but he played bass for the jazz band. And it's very strange because all four of us had become a band prior to that during high school, you know, just kind of a really crappy progressive rock band. We were really into the bands Mars Volta,
oh yeah,
Coheed and Cambria, Circa Survive, and so we were really into those bands. And so we decided we were going to make a progressive rock band, and so we recorded a whole album that will probably never see the light of day. And it was so complicated, like just producing it was so complicated, and some of the songs were like 9 minutes long. And so eventually I just got to the point where I was like, all right, this is too much. I'm done with it. And so we kind of decided to part ways and decided we were all done with music, see how well that worked.
Yeah. And when do you guys come back and find the Irish folk side?
It's so once I had decided that this was over, I was in college. I had a very unfortunate string of accidents happen. I had just gotten dumped by a girlfriend.
No.
I got really, really sick, and got put in the hospital for a few days. And when I came back, I had no car because I had to leave my car in another town. I was alone in this town. Like, none of them were around me because I had to take a summer class for university.
Mm-hmm.
I had lied to the university saying that I had a place to stay, but I really didn't. And so I was living kind of semi-homeless, going from couch to couch. And there was an old chapel down the road that no one ever was really in. It was kind of semi-abandoned, and it had an old broken piano in it. And so I would sleep a lot in that chapel, and I started messing around on the piano. I hadn't played the piano in quite a long time, and I just started writing random songs. I'd been listening to quite a bit of Irish folk music. I'm Irish American, and so that's always kind of been a part of my life. And so I started messing around writing my own Irish folk songs about being sad and whatnot.
Yeah.
And this town I was in is down in the Ozarks, Missouri, and so bluegrass is really big there. And as I was putting this music together, I sent some of it to Ben, because Ben was still a good friend, even though we were pretty much done with music. And I sent him a couple songs that I'd written that I played on the piano, and it was just like webcam videos. And he said, "Man, we've got to record these things."
Uh-huh.
And I was a little skeptical, but I said, "All right, fine, we'll try it." And so we recorded 5 songs, and then we recorded 5 covers of other songs that we wanted to make our own. And we started showing it around, and we kind of did a limited release and did some just duo shows at coffee shops, and people really, really liked it. I mean, way more than I ever thought that they would. And they said, "Man, you have to have more." And so we ended up making our first album, Letters to Lucy, which was just a duo, just the 2 of us. Mm-hmm. We had been contacted by a film student who wanted to record a music video for us. So we recorded that, just the 2 of us. One of our most depressing songs we ever wrote on the album Letters to Lucy, which was our limited release, first attempt. And it was just the corniest music video in the entire world, because she obviously wasn't the greatest film student, so she had some error happen with her super expensive camera where she lost almost all footage except the green screen footage, which was supposed to be the smallest amount of footage used in the video. So that's all she had.
Yeah.
And so in the end, when she sends me this video, it's basically my head floating through space, singing these sad, deep lyrics. And I laughed really hard at it, but I was like, all right, well, one day this might be really entertaining, but for right now, this can't see the light of day. And interestingly enough, Justin, who had been playing drums for this old rock band, said that he would really like to try playing folk music. Mm-hmm. And so we said, all right, you can kind of join along and you play the tambourine or whatever. And so he actually has a tambourine spot in that very first album. But he started playing with us, and we played our first gig at a venue called Cicero's in St. Louis. It's a pretty storied place where we've seen a lot of really good bands come through. And it was a big local music night, which St. Louis did not have a very strong local scene at the time. And so we kind of got together with some other bands that we were friends with, and we put together this big local night. And we ended up, bringing in 200 to 300 people in this small venue for this local night. And as we were playing, Devin, who would become our bassist, was in the crowd. And he loved it so much that he came to us right after the show, and he begged to try out for the group. And so we let him try out, and he was really good, obviously, because he was a jazz bassist. And so we kind of added this technical aspect, like folk music, but all of us played this, jazz rock before that. And so we had a lot of odd time signatures and odd keys that we wanted to bring into this traditional folk idea.
No, and it totally shows when you listen to the music just how unique it really is. So, I commend you guys for uh, doing something different and making it all sound good. Because I like all sorts of music. I'm more of a rocker, indie,
Hmm.
alternative stuff like that. But when I was listening to this, I go, wow, this is something I could really listen to on a regular basis. And now I have been. I was just listening to it probably like 15 minutes, or we've been talking for 15 minutes, like 30 minutes ago. So I really do enjoy it, and I'm gonna get that word out.
Well, I'm flattered. Thanks, man. There's been a lot of times where we had to go through venues. When I took the banjo out, people just started laughing. Even in Missouri, because I
Yeah.
mean, you'd think it wouldn't be that big of a deal in Missouri, but I would take the banjo out, and in the beginning, we had to play those really stupid pay-to-play, variety nights where it starts off with a 12-year-old playing his acoustic guitar that's he bought from Walmart and ends with this death metal band. And we'd always play in the middle, but the thing that started making eyes look at us is all these different bands from different genres who we were being forced to play with would come to us after our set and be like, dude, I really like this. Like, I want an album,
Yeah.
from death metal singers to, punk rockers and whatnot. And so we started giving away free albums to these guys, just saying, burn it and give it to your friends. And the progression was, from one day, having nobody coming to our shows to, being recognized. That was the weirdest part, is we never like became huge or anything like that. But just in St. Louis, we'd have people coming up to us being like, "Oh, you're Pawns Are Kings, man. My girlfriend's really into you. Like, can I take a picture with you?" And that was weird because I was like, "Don't you know? Like, I'm a student teacher, like down the street. Like, you can see me every day. If you wanna come to my basement, you can hear us practice every day. We won't charge you. Maybe bring a pack of beer."
There we go. There we go. And so when you go back and play with the guys, do you have some ideas carved out that or any songs kind of pre-written? Or are you gonna
What's
discover that?
What's really nice, really the only thing that's nice about being a part like this, is that we all kind of let our influences permeate us the whole time that we're apart. And we kind of get all these ideas together, and then when we come together, it's just kind of, it's magical, because none of us, I would say, are expert technical musicians. There's always going to be someone much better than us. But what's different about this group of guys is just that we click so well together, especially Ben and I. If I show Ben an idea, because sometimes in the Pomme de Terre album, quite a few of those were songs that I had completely written out. Chord progressions, all the melodies and lyrics were all done when I came to him. And he would just say, I love this. And he would add just a bit of his own touch to it, because we self-produce all of our own stuff. And I'd hand it to Justin and say, Justin, give it what you want. And since he's a rock drummer, he likes to put drive to it,
Uh-huh.
which is good. It puts a different type of voice into it. And Devin, being a jazz bassist, likes to do more than just bass lines, which makes it interesting as well. And so a lot of times, even if I come up with the main idea, it really belongs to everybody. We actually have an entire album that's already recorded and it's being mixed. We finished the last song to it, I kid you not, 20 minutes before I was about to get on the plane and head back. And that actually ended up being one of my favorite songs. We sat there, because this whole next album, Ben wrote most of the music to. Pomme de Terre, I wrote maybe 80% of the music, and he wrote the ones that I actually like. Like, the songs that he wrote were Black Clouds, that's one of his. Wablo Creek, which is the interlude with the two guitars, he wrote. And Pomme de Terre, he wrote the guitar parts to it, and that was kind of a 50-50. But in this new one, the new one kind of has a darker feel to it, but it's not too different. It's not like Mumford and Sons throwing away their banjo different.
Right.
But I'm excited for it, and so we should, hopefully start sending out some pre-release albums to some different stations and whatnot this summer.
Okay, right on. And just because I'm curious, what was the game you guys bonded over in high school? I gotta know.
Kingdom Hearts.
Kingdom Hearts. Yep. Okay, there we go.
See, it was great because Ben and I had nothing in common before that.
Yeah.
And I remember he heard me talking about Kingdom Hearts with someone, and he said, "Man, I just can't beat Captain Hook in that. Like, I try my hardest, and I just can't." And I was like, "All right, I'll come to your house and I'll take a look at it." Turned out he had no idea that you could, when you leveled up, that you had like skill points that you could spend on new skills.
Yeah.
So I was just impressed he'd made it so far in the game, and so I bought a bunch of skills for him, and then he beat the game like within the next week, and fast friends right after.
There we go. Nothing brings people together like Kingdom Hearts.
I know. I still wear my Kingdom Hearts T-shirt sometimes during concerts just to commemorate.
There we go. Well, I mean, obviously, how come you didn't name the band Kingdom Hearts? Is it
Well,
trademarked? Is that why?
Yeah, it'd be pretty hard to get onto an album cover. But I never actually thought of that. I was like, I could have done something from Kingdom Hearts, but I never thought of it. I had to make our name in a panic run, and it just happened to stick.
There you go. Well, it's a good name. It's a good name for sure. For the people at home who would like to buy your music, keep up with you, where can they do that?
We're on iTunes. If you look up Pawns Are Kings, you'll find about 30 different outlets. I mean, we're on pretty much everything from Rhapsody, iTunes, Amazon Music, any country. You can buy it through one of those, or you can buy it straight from us at our Bandcamp. Our Bandcamp also has a couple live CDs. It has some kind of bonus EPs that we've done, because we've done just a lot of miscellaneous work in between the last album and now. So if you're interested in that stuff, you can find it there. We just released a music video on YouTube, so you can find most of our stuff on YouTube as well. We don't get super mad with people pirating our stuff, because we knew it was going to happen anyways. And if someone's pirating it, that means that they like it enough to show it to other people. And I said, as long as you're really enjoying it and you're showing it to other people, I mean, you can pirate our music just as long as you promise to see us if we come into your town.
There we go. That's a pretty good trade-off.
Yeah.
Sometimes, maybe. Ed, I had a blast talking with you. I feel like I should let you go to sleep, though.
Yeah, I do have to work tomorrow.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, teacher was up last night partying. No, I was just talking to some dude.
Talking to some dude in the United States. I got students who like Kingdom Hearts too. They'd be like, "Oh yeah, truth."
Okay, that's okay. Teach. That's fine. Well, Ed, you have a wonderful day, night, and I hope to see you guys in Austin.
Yeah, definitely. And you have a good morning. If you follow us on Twitter, I'll keep right now. My Twitter is pretty much just, I'm a huge soccer fan, and so there's lots of Newcastle United updates because they're almost about to get dropped out of the Premier League. But as soon as soccer season's over, it'll go right back to me tweeting about things for the band.
There we go. You have a wonderful day, all right?
All right. Thanks, man. It's been great talking with you.
You too.
All right. See ya.
All right. Bye-bye.